Well, at first, Michael Fleur needs to be adaptable in this game because you never know what Belichick's going to do against you. You don't know if Belichick's going to go all out and play zero blitz against the Jets. You don't know if Belichick's going to sit back and play coverage just like he did in week 2. So LaFleur has to keep an open mind right here. And if the Patriots go with an opposite route when compared to week 2 and pressure the Jets a lot, it's a must to get the ball on the perimeter and try to get Elijah Moore, Michael Carter, Jamison Crowder, Braxton Berrios touches on the football in space. This is going to be a must for the Jets, especially against the Patriots linebackers. They play a lot with Bentley, with Jamie Collins now getting more snaps, Dante Hightower, with Kyle Van Noy, 4 guys that are not fast. They're not fast, but still they are fit in Belichick's defense, and the Jets got to exploit that. If the Patriots, once again, if the Patriots show pressure for the Jets, quick throws to the perimeter will do the job, and will be the opportunity to get Zach Wilson going on deep balls. What Michael Fleur thought in week 2. Zach Wilson's a quarterback that's struggling to throw the ball quick, in a sense, in quick game, not screens. In quick game, Wilson's struggling with timing. So he was anticipating the Patriots to bring the house, and he thought, let's go and throw the deep ball. They don't work because the Patriots play coverage. If the Patriots are aggressive now, the plan has to be quick screens, jet sweeps, ball in space, and when the opportunity presents itself, go deep. On the other hand, if the Patriots play coverage once again and just sit back and say, hey, Zach Wilson, figure us out, the Jets are going to run the football. The Jets are going to run the football, and they got to run the football out of 11 personnel, 12 personnel, 21 personnel. The Jets cannot get lost in 2 tight end stuff to run the football. The Jets are going to be multiple in their personnel choices, and they got to run the ball. So hand in hand, Bill Belichick, if he's aggressive, quick throws to the outside and get the deep ball when the time is right. If Bill Belichick plays coverage, LaFleur cannot be afraid to run the ball. Michael Carter is playing well, and the Jets' offensive line is getting better.
Yeah, I agree. We need to get the quick game going because last time I believe the Patriots defense, they didn't really do anything special, right? They got the pressure when they needed it. They didn't do as many stunts as we saw week 1 against the Panthers, but they still were able to beat our guys. And this kind of put Zach in the funk early, and it really sort of tumbled downhill from there. He really needs to get going quickly at the start of the game and then get in that rhythm and then open it up downfield, because he can't master the downfield without mastering the short stuff first. If he's having trouble with that, it's going to be an indicator that he's going to have trouble all over the place.
Yeah, that was it was really surprising to me as well how Belichick chose to play the Jets in their first matchup, because normally his reputation against rookie quarterbacks or quarterbacks that he may not necessarily be scared of is he's going to want to try and blitz you like crazy at first and then send you disguises afterwards to confuse you and just make you look foolish. And that's exactly what happened to Sam Darnold in the famous Ghost game. And we really didn't see much of that. They were a lot more vanilla with not only their coverage, but also their rushing than I really expected them to be. You had an offensive line that was shuffling around. This was the first game starting without Mekhi Becton after he got hurt. And yes, Fant and Moses have had, practice experience, and it's not the worst tackle situation to have as backups that, another team might have, but it was still an opportunity to exploit miscommunication. We didn't really see many stunts. We didn't really see that much confusing coverage. They pretty much did what they always do, which is shift their coverage with a bracket towards the number 1 and then try and lock up the other 2 options one-on-one on the other side of the play. And that was Corey Davis with J.C. Jackson. The corner group for the Patriots hasn't changed since week 2. Stephon Gilmore didn't play in week 2 because he was hurt. Now he's in Carolina. So this is going to be the same backfield or the same defensive backfield. And I think we could see some of the same similar matchups. I agree with exactly what you guys both said, and especially what Vitor said, where if they're going to be aggressive and they're going to change things up and they're going to say, we're not going to be vanilla and sit in coverage and we're going to come after you, you got to trust your guys to win some one-on-ones. You got to get Elijah Moore on some slot fades. You got to get him on some quick routes, get Jamison Crowder involved in, throwing on hot reads. There's got to be options there. And if they're going to back off and play coverage, punish them until they stop it. I think that is the first step offensively, what they should be looking for on their first drive to get going.
I'm sort of anticipating Belichick to be proactive in this area. I don't think he's going to rest on the same exact game plan as last game and hope that it works out early. I think he knows that we're trying to fix things. We've made it very public that we're diving into our offense to try to improve things. And the only way to do that is to do what we haven't been doing, which is exactly what we've been saying for the last few minutes. It's that we need to get the quick game. We got to get more in Crowder involved. So I sort of anticipate him sitting on these. Now, this should be our strong suit. This is where our talent is. So I still think we should go with that game plan, even knowing that he would probably be sitting on it. And let's just beat him with our talent because we have the talent.
Yeah, there's a reason why Belichick didn't blitz the Jets in week 2, because he saw how Zach Wilson played against the Panthers when he was free against the blitz, in the sense that blitzing quarterbacks that are not processing the defense well sometimes is doing them a favor, right? You see, Zach Wilson is a quarterback that right now he doesn't trust what he's saying. So when he sees the other team bringing the house, he's just going to flush out of the pocket and try to make an off-schedule play. And that's where he is having his success. He did this against the Titans. He did this in a couple of plays against the Panthers, in a lot of plays against the Panthers. But when he had to sit back and play quarterback, he has struggled. Against the Falcons prior to the bye week, the Falcons basically play cover 2, Tampa 2 all game long, and Zach Wilson couldn't find anybody open because he's not trusting his eyes. If Belichick goes out there and blitzes Wilson, I feel like he'll be doing Wilson a favor. Just like he'll limit his thought process. I'll blitz Wilson. If he blitzes Wilson just flush out of the pocket, try to make a big play. If he hits Wilson, he can check the quick screen. But if he plays coverage, he's going to force Wilson to think through the defense. And that's what Wilson is struggling with right now.
I completely and totally agree. That's exactly what it is. It's Belichick is scared of Zach Wilson when he gets out of the pocket, because I think, quite honestly, more so than any of us expected, he has been really, really good at avoiding sacks, and he's been really hard to bring down. And that's why he's been able to get out and make some of these plays, because when he's got guys coming at him free off the edge, he can make a miss. It's just like BYU. These are pro edge rushers that he's making miss, just like the guys he was going against in Utah. He's elusive in the pocket, and he is hard to bring down. And coverage can break down really quick when you blitz behind it, because you don't have the extra guys to clean up. And once things become a scramble drill, then that's when the danger happens. And that's exactly what we saw against the Titans, like you said, Vitor. I think we're going to see a similar game plan. I think the Patriots are going to try and, like you said, Matt, squat on the short stuff a little bit underneath, but I don't think they're going to try and necessarily blitz as much. And I don't think they're necessarily going to try and just send the house. I think they're going to try and make Zach Wilson beat them with his brain. And so my answer would be, so beat them with your offensive line and let Michael Carter do it. Don't try and make Zach Wilson pick through this defense. Force them to try and come up harder and play the run more. If they're going to sit back in coverage, let the offensive line do what they're supposed to be doing.
Yep. But we need to also evaluate how our offensive line is doing that day, because like in many other games, they show how they're going to do early, and we need to go off of that. Like, sometimes they're horrible and sometimes they're great. Usually LaFleur is very slow to pick up on what they're doing when it's very obvious. So if it's working against the Patriots, keep doing it, keep running it, because I feel like LaFleur wants the running game to be the staple of the offense, to be what the offense runs around. So I totally agree with him trying to pound it home early, but he needs to, actually see what's happening and move on from there. He can't just be stuck on a run game that doesn't work, and he can't move away from a run game that is working. But like you said, maybe Belichick is scared of Zach running around a little bit. How do you feel about moving pockets?
Yeah, could be an answer to limit. One thing that I always think about with moving quarterbacks, like to scramble, actually, the defense needs to account to one more aspect of the offense's game. Okay, but a quarterback that needs to flush out of the pocket to get the job done also limits the offense, because the field gets limited when you move him around.
Yep. Exactly.
And that's why you need a quarterback that can execute from the pocket, because when you are executing from the pocket, 11 guys cannot cover the entire length or the width of a football field. And that's why playing the game from the pocket is so important. But I like moving pockets early in the game to get Wilson quick completions. This is something that I like a simple boot comeback, isolated. Don't progress on the flood concept that the Jets love to run. Get Wilson on a boot concept with an isolated comeback to start the game. Why not? One read. If the guy's not open, check it down, throw it out of bounds, no matter what. But moving pockets for Wilson to get going is good, but I don't like it. Like, in a sense, it's going to be the bread and butter of the offense, like more than 5 plays in a game. I don't like it. But to get Wilson going, I thought about isolated comebacks for a while now.
Yeah, I completely agree. It wouldn't be the main part of my offense, but as a change up to get some easy completions to get into a rhythm, I think it can certainly be helpful. But exactly what you said is my issue with moving pockets like that is it cuts the field in half for the offense, where you're saying, okay, the quarterback only has to read half the field. Well, the defense only has to cover half of it too. And that makes it easier for a defense if they don't have as much ground that they have to worry about. And as soon as they see the quarterback starting to move and they move the pocket, they know they can abandon whatever is going on the other side. Unless we see some crazy shenanigan throwbacks with Zach Wilson, who has the arm talent to do it. But that's a risky play. That would be something that I would not feel comfortable with them doing unless they were in a situation in the game where they felt like they had a lead or they absolutely had to generate a play. And quite honestly, I'm not sure who would be the person to even get the ball down the field anyway from that alignment. So I'm fine with it as a changeup. I think isolated comebacks would definitely work. I think especially Elijah Moore on those could be really, really good. And I think Zach has shown the ability when he's running to his right to throw balls to the sideline with accuracy. And I think it would be a perfect kind of combination of their skill sets. And I think it could work. I just wouldn't do it all game. I think you have to be able to win from the pocket. Like you said, you have to be able to make the defense defend the whole field, because scaring the defense into defending the whole field allows you to have guys open when you only attack half of it. Otherwise, they're just going to squat on everything to the sidelines all game long.
Yeah.
Agreed. Who would that person be that leaks out the outside, allows Zach to throw it across his body?
In my brain, imagining this play, like drawing it up on the imaginary whiteboard in my head, it's a jet motion to Elijah Moore with a moving pocket from the shotgun where it looks like it's a jet sweep. And then Zach rolls to his right with like Carter in the backfield looking like he's going to leak out. And then Moore runs a wheel route going to the other way and wheels up the sideline. You have like Corey Davis coming from the X side on a deep post, and you maybe have Keelan Cole running, or a deep cross, and you have Keelan Cole running a post on top of it or something like that. That would be my thought. But again, that's a lot. I think that's a lot for the offensive line to hold up in protection for that long for a play like that to develop.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if anyone were to do it, it would be Elijah Moore, and it would be probably coming off a jet motion.
Yeah, I agree.